Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about the lore of trenches. No, not that one, this one. Timestamps and links are in the description. Trenches takes place in the world of Theia, on the continent of Pordier. There are other continents, but they are not shown. Pordier is riddled with conflict and is going through a massive war which is shown in the game. All the battles take place during the war's climax in the years between 534 and 541. All the battles are non-canon, however, the battles will be canon in the game's sequel, Pordier War, which is currently under development. Magic also plays a part in the lore of Trenches. Long before the events of Trenches took place, a large asteroid crashed into Theia, giving it magical characteristics. Theia has a sort of reincarnation cycle which never really ends. Whenever someone dies, their soul travels to the center of the world where they wait until a new person is born. They then take over the body. It's essentially a cycle of infinite reincarnation. Magic also plays a part in several heavy weapons like tanks, artillery, and dreadnoughts, among others. It is also a part of the officer class in-game. It appears as though the class comes with a magic book that can call artillery strikes and other things. In Trenches, there are two factions, the Blue Alliance and the Red Alliance. I'll start with the Blue Alliance. Oscovia is the main nation in the Blue Alliance and the largest in Pordier. Both men and women serve in its army. Their uniform is light green. Oscovia's territory is made up mostly of temperate forests and open plains. Swamps and marshes can be found in the north of Oscovia. It's known that the Dieter Imperial Arms Company is the official state-owned military company of Oscovia. They are responsible for creating the Dreadnought. I helped Oscovia with the Mage Induction Project, which basically just gives people magic. There's probably more to it, but I suck at describing this stuff, so I put links to the wiki in the description. Oscovia's currency is called Krones. They have a coin system called cents, which works the same way as cents in the US do. Krones cannot be exchanged for gold in Oscovia. Oscovia is the superpower in Pordier with the leading economy, technology, and military at the time of Trenches. It's also interesting that Oscovia's king was a child. Noxua is the other nation in the Blue Alliance. Its population is comprised of a unique race called the Noxu, which have blue skin and look kinda like Smurfs. There are also some humans in its deep south and far west. Noxua is one of the poorer nations on Pordier. It relies heavily on Oscovia for its war technology. Noxua is still able to provide quality of life to its citizens, though. It's just poor compared to its ally. Noxua's territory consists almost entirely of dense forests and swamps, although a small mountain range can be found in the north. Noxua uses a currency called rounds, which is entirely coin-based and has no paper bills. It's also interesting to note that all its coins have holes in the center, likely to allow them to be attached to strings. Now for the Red Alliance. Rostora is the leading nation in the Red Alliance and the second most powerful on Pordier. Like the other nations, both men and women serve in its army. Its geography is very similar to that of Oscovia's, with temperate forests and plains covering much of its territory, though there are some mountains in the north. Rostora's economy is comparable to Oscovia's, although it is still slightly behind. They have strong industrial capabilities and pretty much carry their alliance, just like Oscovia. Rostora's paper currency is called notes. They also have a coin system called Dessen. Both systems are backed by silver instead of gold and can be exchanged for pure silver at a federal bank. Adusasha is the second nation in the Red Alliance. Its population consists entirely of humans with darker features. Its territory is made up of deserts, badlands, and arid mountains. Adusasha is the third most powerful nation on the continent in terms of its military, technology, and economy, with virtually no reliance on Rostora. Their currency is called marks and is made up of only paper with no coins. Marks are backed by gold and can be exchanged for it at a national bank in Adusasha. Now for Vostor. Vostor isn't officially in the Red Alliance, although it does fight against the Blue Alliance. Vostor is the poorest nation in Trenches and is very isolated due to the fact that it's located in the Arctic and that it has built a massive wall along its borders with other nations. Vostor manufactures its own weapons and has a currency called Talnir, which is backed by gold and consists exclusively of coins, much like rounds. Vostor's population is comprised of a weird species of cat-like humanoids called Kentari. Their geography is made up of frozen tundra, craggy mountains, and dense boreal forests. The last country in trenches is Borden, whatever. It is part of no alliance and is not seen in the game, but it is canon, so I'm going to talk about it. Borden has relatively low industrial capability, although they were able to develop an air fleet of dreadnoughts. Most of their lore is unknown, but there is a bit which I'll talk about in a second. In the year 530, Oscovia invaded Borden, which sparked a counter-invasion from Adusasha, which also gained some land. A year later, Oscovia would begin massacring the Bordenese people. This led to Bordenese partisans and insurgents popping up across the country, which Rostora and Adusasha were more than happy to fund. In 534, after years of rising tensions starting from a few border disputes, Oscovia and Rostora would go to war. In 535, Adusasha would declare war on Oscovia, and Noxua would declare war on Rostora. A year later, Vostar would declare war on Noxua under false suspicions and prejudice fabricated by the ongoing war. 536, Noxua would launch a deep invasion into Vostor's territory, ultimately resulting in a stalemate. The year after, in 537, Oscovia launched a naval invasion into Adusasha, also ending in a stalemate. In 538, Vostor turned on Rostora, mostly due to the fact that they weren't providing aid and that the Rostorans were extremely racist to the Kentari. Vostor would drop a white peace treaty with Noxua and ultimately become a part of the Blue Alliance in the later years of the war. In the last 2 years of the war, massive uprisings would occur in Oscovia and Rostora, killing all the nobility and royalty, resulting in these two countries descending into chaotic civil wars after the Pordier War ended. Adusasha would sue for peace due to extreme war exhaustion, and Borden would become independent once more. Vostor and Noxua would come out on top due to low participation in the war. When it ended, the two became close allies and would eventually become the two dominant nations due to the little impact they received from the war. One could say neither the Red or Blue Alliances won. It was more of a Noxu-Kentari victory. So yeah guys, that was the lore of Trenches, or Pordier War if you're watching this later. I really enjoyed making this video and I appreciate all the positive support you guys have given my channel. I would appreciate it if you guys would like this video and subscribe to my channel. See ya.